right. And then I will turn it on over to Karen.
Oh, okay. Good just afternoon, everybody, and welcome. I am Karen Estelle Smith. I'm a program associate with Restore America's Estuaries. And with that, I also want to say happy Valentine's Day. Thank you for joining us for this webinar. We are today discussing the 2024 Coastal and Estuarine Summit that will be conducted by Restore America's Estuaries. As you know, this year will be in the Washington, D.C. area at the Hyatt Regency Crystal City near the Reagan National Airport. At this time, I would like to acknowledge and recognize some of the other Restore America's Estuary staff. Hillary Stevens, who is the Coastal Resilience Senior Manager. Samaya Rubio, who is the Community Engagement Associate. And I believe also Shahela Begum is on the call, and she is the director of the Long Island Sound Community Fund. Hi, Shahela. We know you're here. Okay. We encourage other participants to introduce yourselves in the chat if you wish. And with that, let's get going. So just as a reminder, oh, I see a raised hand. Is there a question? Jennifer Bays, did you have a question?
Okay, it looks like the chat is not enabled, so let me go ahead and try to fix that.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jennifer. And just as a reminder, this webinar is being recorded, so it will be available in the future. And also, other than that question, Jennifer, because that was very relevant, we ask that you hold your questions until the end of the webinar, and we'll try to address everything at that time. This should be pretty brief, so we have plenty of time for questions as we finish the hour.
All right, hopefully that fixed out the chat question. Oh, perfect. Yay. Excellent. All right, well then I'm gonna go ahead and share the slides so we can jump on in.
Awesome. Wonderful. And as I shared earlier, this is the call for proposals info session for the upcoming summit. So we thought it would be a good idea for everyone to have the opportunity to ask questions about the summit. The summit has been going on for a number of years, but many people are new to our organization and the potential of presenting at this organization. So hopefully this gives you some ideas of how you can, if you have any questions or what have you around proposing a session for the 2024 summit. Okay, so in this proposal submission process, we have 3 areas. They are dedicated or alternative format sessions. We have single presentations, and we have the poster presentation portion. And we're just going to go over these areas very briefly. So with the dedicated and alternative format session, excuse me, the purpose is to have generally around 5 presenters, and this all encompasses a 90-minute session. So if you want to keep that in mind as we're talking about the different, the dedicated versus the alternative format sessions, remember that these are 90-minute intervals. And so in the dedicated session, we like to have 5 presenters, and they can vary in areas of expertise, but they can also, we would like representation, if you will, and different viewpoints when we say that. With the alternative format, we do encourage a lot of creativity, and this can be like lightning rounds or 5 presenters versus a panel discussion, or other types of interaction. We really want to provide, keep in mind that we are also trying to provide a variety of presentation formats for the summit. So, we don't want everyone to feel as though they are, going to the same presentation with a different topic. So a variety of presentation formats are certainly welcome. Just make sure that you outline that, in your presentation submission. For the single presentation, the purpose of these, and again, keeping in mind that 90-minute window block, we have these in 15-minute presentations, and then there's generally a moderator who will oversee or moderate the session itself. So in this, one would need to be prepared and organized to make that 15-minute presentation along with others, and then moderate accordingly. And then these sessions will be put together with other presenters, but all under the same topic, if you will, or related topic. So the posters will be displayed throughout the summit. And then there will be a dedicated time for poster presenters to interact with participants as well. If you would like to present more than one poster, we certainly welcome that, but each poster has to have its own separate submission. Proposals can be multiple focal areas. And as you know, just as a reminder, we have 12 focus areas. So keep that in mind. You have plenty of topics to choose from, one of which is other. So if you don't see your specific topic, if you will, and you need some clarification, you can feel free to look at that consider submitting under other, or you can always feel free to reach out for questions, and you can contact me in that regard. We want to apply a clear connection to the focus area. Oh, okay. Under others. And the overview, or the main thought is we have different tracks, which are the focus areas. So we are trying to organize so that people can easily find what they're looking for in terms of learning and growth from the summit as it continues. For a strong proposal, we really want to encourage the relevance of coastal restoration professionals attending the summit. So just keep in mind your audience as you're putting together your proposal. At this time, just, as a reminder, today is February 14th. You have approximately a month. You have approximately 4 weeks. So, and you don't necessarily have to rush this process. So please be sure to take your time and think about how your topic will align with the various focus areas with which you are submitting. Please make sure that your thoughts are well organized. We love unique ideas and perspectives. And what is also really important is that we highlight lessons learned. A lot of times people don't want to share or acknowledge that something may not have worked out the way that they hoped it did, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. You can help others by sharing, oh, well, we thought that this would have worked, but maybe next time we'll try this, or next time, we did try this and this was successful. That is incredibly welcome, because who wants to who wants to do something? The premise is to help one another. So we encourage you to share that as well. And with that, I think we are going to open it up for questions. Okay. How many usually on a panel? I think that there are usually about 5, but I'm going to see if Hillary, if there's any other input about that.
There's a lot of room for flexibility there. As Karen said, in a dedicated session that has 5 presenters that are each going one after another. If you want to submit for an alternative format session, this could be a panel, and there's lots of ways you could do that. Maybe each speaker could give a 5-minute quick summary of their work or their perspective, and then they go into a dialogue with each other or taking Q&A from the audience. That could be as few as 3 and many more if you wanted to. The dais is usually set up for, I think, 5 or 6. But if you wanted to bring in more folks than that, we could probably, find a way to grab a few extra mics and move some chairs around. So there's definitely room for flexibility there. And as I think Karen pointed out, and I know it's in the document as well, we really do welcome a diversity of perspectives on those panels. So if you can bring in maybe some of the stakeholders, as well as some of the folks working on a project, or someone from the funding side, as well as someone from the implementing side, you can get, honestly, those are the most lively discussions, where there's real opportunity for looking at the same project from multiple different perspectives and how it meets the needs of different folks. And it really speaks to the audience and gives them some more depth on the issues around the project and its successes and the lessons learned.
Thank you, Hillary. Are there any other questions at this time? Well, one thing I realize is that I didn't introduce myself. I am Karen Estella Smith, and I am the program associate for Restore America's Estuaries. And the summit and submission process kind of falls under what I do here. So please feel free to reach out to me. I see another question coming in, but please feel free to reach out to me later on. I'm K.E. Smith at estuaries.org. Or just followed or programmed, I think it's program at estuaries.org. I get those emails as well. Oh, thank you, Samaya. But
okay, so there's another question.
Yeah.
Is there a preference between dedicated sessions and single presentations? It goes on, I would be submitting as a single presentation, but I've heard there was a strong preference for dedicated sessions. We definitely prefer folks to come in as a dedicated session, but that your submission will be reviewed and evaluated based on its merits. We are not going to turn away a presentation of good quality simply because it is single rather than part of a dedicated session. Let me assure you that the review panel, when they go through the abstracts, are looking at the quality of the abstract, the relevance of the information in it, how well is it presented, not necessarily is it part of a dedicated session. If you are part of a dedicated session, that ensures that your talk will be part of a constructed block of folks. If you submit as an individual presenter and you are accepted, you will be put into a session with 4 other speakers. And we do our best to block those off to be relevant so that the speakers are on a similar topic or a similar geography or otherwise have some commonalities of theme. But we can't make any guarantees about schedule, about who you will be on speaking in a panel with, or not in a panel, sorry, I misspoke, who the other presenters in your session will be if you come in as an individual. But be assured, submitting as an individual does not impact how the review panel will see your abstract. Next question, is there a cap on how many posters will be accepted? I mean, in theory, the room can only fit so many people, but we get really creative. So there, I suppose in theory there is a limit, but we've never hit it. We accept poster abstracts, again, based on their merits, and we will accept as many as of the ones that we get, as many that we think will contribute to the quality of Summit. I mean, I suppose if we got 1,000 posters, we would have to have a tough conversation about how many we could take, but we've never had to have that conversation yet.
Not yet.
For reference, I think we had around 135 last year. And I don't actually recall how many abstracts we received. We did not accept them all. There was some ratio of acceptance there, but I don't recall what it was.
This, I think, is a good question. Can you present a poster on a similar topic or the same topic as you're presenting a session or a single presentation?
We generally ask that if there is one individual presenting on a given topic, that they submit one or the other. And we do sometimes have folks that submit both, with the thinking that if they're not accepted for an oral presentation, that a poster might be a fallback. And we do sometimes offer that if someone submits an oral presentation that we think is better suited to a poster, we might request that they do that instead. If you have like a lab group at a university or a project team that is working on a project and multiple people want to come to present about it, and one of them submits for a presentation and another one submits for a poster, that is more acceptable, and we definitely see that. But usually if one person is submitting on a topic, we ask that they choose either a poster or a presentation. And that you're welcome to list co-authors. I should clarify. If you are part of a group that is working on something and you bring a poster and you want to give credit to all of your grad students or your project partners or your funders on the poster, please do so. And the name of the presenter will be the one listed in the program, but you're welcome to credit your colleagues appropriately.
Thank you, Hillary. Any other questions? Well, going once, going twice. It seems like we finished that in record time, but that is our Valentine's gift to you. You have all of this, you have what, another 40 minutes to yourself if you wish. So if you do have any other questions or, at 2 o'clock, you'll remember something that you want to ask, that's totally fine. Please, I hope you've noted the email addresses and other contact information. Please feel free to reach out, and we look forward to seeing you in October at the summit.
So good luck putting your abstracts together. You know where to find us if you have any questions. Look forward to seeing you in October.
Thank you, everybody.